No. Have you talked to Jan about my proposal?
Leave Jan out of this.
What time did she get back from her meeting?
About now. If you don't mind, I think you should leave.
No, I think I should stay and then we can all discuss it together.
Look. Now that I finally have got a chance to sort my life out, do not wreck it.
Well, at least you had the chance. Nicola didn't. Such a sweet girl, wasn't she? Had so much to live for. I saw her parents, you know, before I got back from the States. They're still torn apart by it. Such a tragedy. Oh. What's the matter, Jimmy? Does it still hurt?
What do you think?
I think I'm going to leave you to think about it. And then perhaps you might be more open to negotiation. You know where I am. I'll expect to hear from you.
Ah, Miss Simmons. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Charles Freer.
How do you do, Mr. Freer?
And this is my chief executive, Gerald Urquhart.
Mr. Urquhart?
How do you do?
Please sit down, gentlemen.
Oh, very kind. Thank you.
I gather from your secretary that you had a press conference scheduled earlier this morning.
Yes, indeed, I did. Press being what they are, I thought it was high time I issued a formal statement. Stop all this speculation.
Please ensure that in future you clear any statements with me.
Assuming you're appointed counsel to handle the case.
No, assuming I accept. Let's get down to business, shall we?
Cancel my luncheon appointment tomorrow because I'm seeing my solicitor.
Ken, what did he say to you about you receiving that summons?
Well, I'll know by tomorrow and keep you informed.
Look, I'm really not trying to pry or anything. I'm honestly just interested. Well, I'm concerned. I mean, why should you be summoned to give evidence at Charles Freer and Gerald Urquhart's trial?
Well, I did a bit of business with Freer Holdings in the past and they let me down. It's the prosecution trying to build up a case, that's all.
You hope. If I were you, I'd be careful you're not let down again. I mean, Charles Freer seems the type to me to switch things around to his own advantage.
Well, bear that in mind. But, I mean, do you mind getting on with typing those letters I dictated?
Ken, it isn't just my opinion. It's my uncle's. I was discussing the case with him the other evening.
Well, is he a solicitor or something?
No. Sir Alan Rockwell, chairman of Confederated Industries.
Oh.
And if he doesn't have an opinion on Frere's business dealings, well, then nobody does. I mean, he is a city institution, and also a close friend of Sir Edward, Frere's father. Leisure Cruise. May I ask who's calling? Hold the line a moment and I'll check. James Brooke, are you in?
I'll take that in my office. Oh, and Vicky, do you mind going down to the showroom? See how Simon's getting on with the Henderson contract?
Yes, of course.
Great. Ken Mustard.
Ken, it's James.
Yes, I am aware of that, and so is my secretary. Do you mind using my direct line in future?
It's a little late to be cautious. Laura's just left.
Oh?
Look, we gotta meet and work something out.
What does she want?
It's a bit difficult to say right now.
You mean you can't talk freely?
Yeah, right, but let's meet for a drink.
All right, let's go somewhere where we won't be disturbed. Do you know Del Key? See you at the pub.
Okay, about 2 o'clock.
Do well.
Jan. So, how'd it go, the outlets?
Fine. Business is up 5% this month.
Terrific.
Who was that on the phone?
Hmm?
On the phone?
Oh, it's nobody important. It's not business. It's just an old friend.
There's a hosepipe ban in force, madam.
Not until tonight, there isn't. Oh, Francis, you gave me a shock.
You damn near gave me a soaking. Still, there's nothing new about that for a naval officer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting you till 12.
Well, I thought I might as well come along early so that you could brief me about what horses I'm going to back this afternoon.
We can do that when we get to the racecourse. First, I want you to give me a hand. I was hoping to finish weeding that bed over there before I left.
Mr. Urquhart, according to your broker's files, you purchased your McLean Leisure shares on the 12th.
Yes, I believe that was the date.
And a week later, you announced your interest in the same company, Mr. Freer. Coincidence?
I prefer to think of it more in terms of a sensible business strategy. My chief executive identifies an investment opportunity. Would you really expect me to ignore it?
So what do? You effect the transaction through a nominee company. Why? In the hopes that the business community ignores it?
If you're referring to Diacra Holdings, there is certainly nothing illegal about my using a nominee company to front an initial takeover bid.
An unacceptable answer as far as the prosecution will be concerned, Mr. Freer.
It's also an unacceptable question. Certainly a leading one with a tendency to misconstrue.
Mr. Urquhart, if I'm conducting the defence, I wouldn't want to rely on an objection to any question on a mere technicality.
Perhaps Mr. Cosgrove would adopt a different view. He's represented both Mr. Urquhart and I in the past, on a number of occasions, very successfully.
Tell me, Mr. Freer, do you pursue an active interest in art?
Why do you ask?
Please answer the question. Do you pursue an active interest in art?
I'm afraid I hardly see the relevance.
Why are you so unwilling to answer? What have you got to hide?
Really, I must protest.
I would suggest that your reserve concerns a payment of £100,000 to a certain art centre.
Not a payment, a donation.
Oh, yes, a donation to a charitable trust in your name. An honourable gesture until one discovers that the building is owned by a subsidiary of Freer Holdings and that over the past year the value of the land rose and effectively doubled your original donation.
Well, I would hardly consider Freer Holdings responsible for the increase in the value of the land.
Well, you wouldn't, would you, Mr. Urquhart? According to my research, you devised a scheme to write off a further £300,000 against operating costs.
I resent the implication.
Gerald, calm down. Let Miss Simmons have her say.
You may have made a donation of £100,000 to the Arts Centre, Mr. Freer, but your company benefited by a sum of over £500,000. Quite legitimately, perhaps. But if I were the prosecution, believe me, it would appear anything but legitimate. Mr. Cosgrove may view it all quite differently, of course. You're welcome to approach him to handle your defence. I'll only accept the case on one condition, that I conduct it my way.
Very well, Miss Simmons. I'm sure we can accept your terms and conditions.
Good. Now, before I accept, there is something else I need to discuss. Are you both guilty?
Thanks, Yvette. Bye.
Well,
She says there's room in her show if we're interested.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Yvette Studer is one of the major promoters in the fashion world.
Yeah?
Well, if we participate in one of her shows, we could be well on our way.
Yeah, what to?
Well, to expansion.
If the show is a success, yes.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because doing business in England is one thing and doing business in Europe is another.
I don't believe this. The first time I brought it up, you were all for it. Why the sudden change?
No change. I'm just trying to be practical.
Then why don't you come to have lunch with Sir John and me and see what he has to say about it?
I can't.
Why not?
Because I already have a lunch date.
Well, then cancel it.
I can't. It's important.
You said earlier it wasn't. James, is there something troubling you?
It's a personal matter.
How long, Jack?
Well, that depends. We might run into a few snags.
But our marketing and advertising campaign is scheduled to coincide with the official launch of the cruiser at the end of the month. Now, I don't want to have to implement penalty clauses, but I do have to protect my interests. Well, it's nothing personal, you understand.
There'll be no need for penalty clauses, will there, Jack?
Well, we'll do our best, but I can't guarantee it. I mean, Leisure Cruise can't have it both ways, you know. We're already working on your new commission, which Ken wants ready in no time at all.
What new commission?
Trailer Sailor.
The trailer sailor?
You obviously know nothing about it.
No, I don't.
Well, it was only commissioned last week.
And that's what's held up production on the cruiser.
Look, Laura, I can understand you're being concerned, but I don't think it'd be wise for the mermaid yard to get involved. It's a matter between you and Ken. Why don't you discuss it with him?
Yes, I intend to. Look, Jack, I want that cruiser available for launching at the end of the month, no later.
As I said, we'll do our best.
Remember, any further delay could be costly for both of us. Lovely to see you again, Vanessa.
And you.
Wow. Now that's what I call being forced into a tight corner.